Most of us have experienced pain that goes on for a few minutes, a few hours, or even a few days. But some people experience pain that goes on for several months or even several years. And it's a very different kind of pain and affects your mind differently. Let me explain how. I've used the analogy of a frog in boiling water before, and it's actually a very apt analogy. If you throw a frog into a pot of boiling water, he will jump out, of course. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water and slowly turn up the heat, he won't realize how much heat he's actually experiencing. And it's the same way with chronic pain. I've noticed that for me, chronic pain is something that I don't even necessarily consciously become aware of. It's something that's just always there. And so sometimes my body is reacting out of pain before my mind even realizes that I'm in pain. At other times, I am very conscious of my pain, but usually that's when the pain reaches a certain level that I can no longer just kind of ignore it and continue with my day. So let me explain how chronic pain is different than other kinds of pain. Most people have a baseline of 0, which means that normally they experience no pain. Well, as they move up the pain scale 1, 2, 3, and 4, they start realizing that their productivity is being impacted, and by the time they reach 4, that's probably about when they'd be taking pain medications in order to feel better. At least I'm assuming that, because I really haven't lived in that baseline of 0 for a long time. So let's assume that the person who has chronic pain is not living at a 0, they're living at a 4. The same level that other people would find very difficult and starting to impact their productivity, that's the level that the person with the chronic pain lives at. And because they live at that baseline, the person with chronic pain is able to be surprisingly productive and look surprisingly normal. So say I'm here at my baseline of 4, and you see me and I'm smiling and happy and laughing and seem to be able to be fairly functional and capable. Now as I start creeping up the pain scale, I'm starting to feel it a little bit more as I go 1, 2, and 3 upticks from my baseline. By the time I hit 7, I'm not feeling that great, but I'm still fairly functional. By the time I hit 8, I'm 4 upticks from my baseline, the equivalent of going from 0 to 4. And I can tell you I'm feeling lousy because not only am I 4 upticks from my baseline, but it's still a level 8 pain. I am in a lot of pain, and I can no longer pretend that I'm not in pain. And that's why I can get to the point where, out of the blue, out of being a very smiley, happy, bubbly, cheerful person, suddenly I am in bed shivering and don't want to talk to anybody and don't want any lights on. Like I've said before, chronic pain is just something you learn to live with, so I've learned how to live with it and to make peace with it. But it doesn't mean it's easy. There are ways that I've learned how to manage my pain, but sometimes management just means I take a break from what I'm doing and I have to go into a quiet place and just relax for a little while. And that's okay.